So, this is a good topic for discussion. We're going to speak on this simple truth, and it is the truth. Most women today do not want most men. They don't. And I'll explain why this is. It's simply because women's earning potential over the years has gone up tremendously. And the key thing for a man is to provide in a relationship. So, if you're a man and your woman even makes any bit more money than you, she kind of no longer needs you, because everything you can buy her, she can buy herself. And yes, she needs you to have children, sure. But a huge thing of being a man is providing. And we all know this. So if most women are making more than most men, what is going to happen? A lot of what is happening, and it makes sense. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, it's crazy or anything like this. I ain't complaining. I get it. But this is just the truth. Most women today do not want most men. Most women's standards today has gone up tremendously because their earning potential has gone up tremendously. I don't want to make this a video like, oh, I'm so against it, women are nuts and all this. This is not a video like this. And I'm not saying anything is wrong. This is just the truth. Most women do not want to date most men. Like, it's just what it is. As a man, you have no choice but to step up your game or just step away from the dating scene in general. A lot of men are stepping away from the dating scene in general, when what you should be doing is just improving yourself. Doing more things that make you happy. A lot of women today, I've seen a lot of videos, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of women say things like they want 50-50 relationships. And I would even argue a lot of feminists want power in relationships over men. They will never say that, but that's what they want. But there's a lot of women that want 50-50 relationships, and 50-50 relationships never work out because there has to be one captain per ship. One. Someone has to have the leverage. I'm not saying one person has 100% power, because that would be kind of crazy. Your partner should have some power. Just like, let's say you're the captain of the ship, the second man or whatever, or the other workers. They have to have some power, obviously. But someone has to have more. Someone always has more power than the other. When you're in a relationship, when you're with somebody else, even when it's you and a friend hanging out, someone has more power. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, almost nothing is equal. Almost nothing. And it's not like these things are talked about all the time between two friends hanging out, or someone, a guy and a girl in a relationship, but someone always does. Low key, someone has the leverage. Somebody has the leverage. When you hang out with a friend, somebody is more powerful than the other person. If I was hanging out with, let's say, Conor McGregor, he obviously has more power than I do. Obviously. So someone always has more power, depending on who and who is in the situation. Somebody has more power. There's really no such thing as 50-50. Somebody has more power. And it's just the way it is. So 50-50 relationships do not work. It's cool to think that way. It's cool to think it should be that way. Both people have the power. It basically means two leaders, it means two captains, it means no one has any control or any say over the other person. Just both be yourself, both do what you want to do. But that's not how a relationship works. It's just not the reality. Because let's be honest, you can't do what you want in a relationship. You can if it's in the boundaries of being okay, but you can't just do whatever you want in a relationship. You can't disrespect the relationship. You can't cross lines in the relationship. And someone is always going to have more power than the other person. Usually it has to be the man. Because men are more logical. And this is not a knock on women. We never want to do that. We never want to come off that way. But it is the truth. Men are more logical than women. I feel women want power in certain situations because they feel they are more superior or more powerful than the man they're with. Which means you shouldn't even be with him in the first place. You should automatically feel like you're in the presence of a fucking modern day warrior as your man. Like, you should feel comfortable enough to be able to just kind of like chill out. I'm not saying don't work a job. I'm not saying don't do anything. But you should be submissive. It's a woman's role. Your man is doing what your man does. You shouldn't have to be in control. You shouldn't be the one setting the boundaries. You shouldn't be the one calling the shots. You should not be the one doing those things. If you feel like you have to step up in that way, you should probably leave the guy you're with if you're with a guy that you feel that way towards. Because he can't do it. The guy has to be able to do those things. The guy has to know what's right. And it's not like, I really don't want to come across like it's control. Because I know when I'm saying these things, a lot of you guys think this way. It is not. A lot of you girls think this way. It is not control. It's keeping things in line. It's making sure the ship don't sink. Because if you do something that is not right, if you do something that is wrong, it's a no-go. The guy has to be in control. Like, it pretty much has to be that way. Unless you're a woman, you want the power and you want a weaker male. But then again, I guess it can work, but it's not going to work long term because you're not going to want it later on. You look at all these women on these podcasts talking about stuff like this. When they make more money, they always break up with the guy. They always divorce the guy. Something always happens when they had more power. Like I said, it's cool to sit there and think. 50-50 relationship, yeah. No. Let's be honest. Women want a guy who is more superior. Some of them don't admit it. But it's also proven women don't even know what they want. Until maybe you actually get it. Then it's like, you might have that. Like I said, it's cool for you to think 50-50 relationship, but it's not actually what you want. You don't even know what you want until you might have it. And when you have something you want, you'll keep it. When you have something you don't want, you're not going to keep it. Because women often go after things sometimes, and it's not your fault. You're figuring things out, I guess. But you could just be in a position where you're with somebody else and you figure out it's not the thing. You know you can do better. You know something else is out there, so on and so forth. It's because you need a guy who is better than you. Why else would you be with a guy? For only one reason. To have children. But that is not enough, because any male on earth could give you children. You need a more superior man to yourself. You need a man who can do things for you that you cannot do for yourself. That is honestly what men are for. To do things for women that they cannot do for themselves. Like, let's be honest. It is what it is. So this 50-50 relationship stuff, it's just not it, man. It's not reality. And these feminists, it's just not reality. Like, you want to be that way? I guess. But you're the one that's going to regret it later on. I just don't get it. Like, it's really not that hard to get things right. And you can't, as a woman, you can't have this masculine energy and think, you know what, I'll be feminine when the right guy comes around, because you got to be feminine in the first place for somebody to even want you in the first place. It's not like some guy's going to take you when you're already masculine and think, oh, once I'm married or something, she'll be feminine. Like, he wants that up front. Just like you want up front a successful guy. Just like you want up front a certain particular guy. Same thing. You would not want a guy if he wore a dress and heels at a fucking nightclub and said, hey, look at me, bitch, I'm more pretty than you, and walked around all feminine and shit like this. But he said to you, you know what, I'll be more masculine when we get in a relationship and it goes on. You're not going to want that. That would be fucking ridiculous. But it's no problem for some women today to walk around all masculine and shit like that, and bossy and all that kind of stuff, and have the mindset, I'll be feminine whenever I want to be, and I'll act like a lady when I want to be. It's very, very, very unattractive to a man. Like, it's not gonna work. You should automatically, just like, when it's the guy you want, you should have your guard down. You should. You have to take risks in life. You do. And I'm not saying do that to every guy. Make sure it's the guy you want, but you should be able to do that. Let him call the shots. Let him lead. You kind of sit back. You're not making the big decisions. You can work, do whatever you want, I guess. But for the most part, you should be chill, sweet, kind, caring, soft, feminine. Not coming home and not some guy coming home and the first thing he walks in the door and it's complete chaos. It's not going to go over well, because every guy is walking at that door in the morning. He's already dealing with a lot of noise and a lot of commotion going on during the day, when he has to go out there and conquer the fucking world. He don't want to come home to that, to his peace. He don't want to come home to that. Just don't want to do it. So you have to know what you have to be. Vice versa. Play your role. If you can't, you're not going to succeed. You have to be a strong candidate for your role. You know your role, play your role. And this is not just going against women. Like I said, most women don't want most men today because they're doing almost better. When you generalize, a lot of men ain't doing so hot. Women are doing better because of colleges. Colleges is dominated right now by females. Females are making more money than most guys. So you can't be like most guys. They're not even making enough. You have to find a way. You gotta be able to do something. So both parties seem to be failing when we generalize. So both have to get shit straight. I don't know. It's really complicated. Men have to do much better, and I think that would make things a lot better. Women have to, even if you're becoming more successful, you still have to kind of tone it down a notch. I don't know what to say. It's really, the world's changing forever. And it's not looking too good. The world is changing, and I don't think it'll ever go back. And who knows what could happen, bro. The world could end. There's lots of talks about the world ending. Who the fuck knows? World War III, whatever is on the horizon, who the fuck knows? I'm going to tell you guys something. Let's say if World War III happened, the world ended some way, some shape or form. We die. I die. Anytime right now, within the next year or two, I'd be fucking pissed. I'd be in heaven looking down, just furious. Because I'd have so much money in the bank. I'd have so much things that I'd done, sacrificed, so many things. And I didn't even get to show for it. Because I made a lot of sacrifices in my life. And we ain't even getting to the fun part. And there's so much further to go. There's so much to do. There's so much more work to do. There's so much more fun to be had. There's so many more good times to be had. We sacrifice for so many years. Could you imagine sacrificing your whole life? Basically. Working so hard, doing all the right things, and then right at the end, you just die. Man, like I said, I'd be looking down from heaven just pissed. What the fuck? That would just be nuts. But anyways, probably not going to happen. But there's a lot of talk today. You never know what could happen in this fucked up world. It only seems to be getting more crazier as time goes on. Forget about men and women, the whole world's fucked. So, to be honest, for everybody, just do the best you can do. Try to play your role in your gender. Try to be the right person. Try to do the right things. Everybody can always improve. I can improve. You can improve. Elon Musk can improve. We can get to Mars quicker. I don't fucking know. We can all improve. So let's keep doing that. How about? And just try to do the right things. Period. Instead of going against your nature. Instead of going against what you should be. Because becoming something you're not is the worst mistake you'll ever make in your life. You're putting in work towards something that you're not even supposed to be. That's worse than almost staying the same. Like literally.